All right, folks, so sorry I'm not there today to help you get through this, but I figured making a video and you taking the notes the same way would be just as fine. So we started out this unit talking about, in section 3.2, slope. And we identified slope as a variable at one point as the letter m. And we also defined it as the steepness of a line. But the very most important thing I think that we've kind of learned is that the slope is that three-word phrase of rise over run. And that's going to help us find slopes of lines or create lines based on a specific set of slopes. So if I just am randomly giving you a line on a graph, let's say it's -1, 3, and then it's 2, -3, and let's just make that line right there. I can find the slope by utilizing this idea of rise over run. Now, I can go from point to point. It don't really matter which one I go from, starting here to go down or this one to go up. All I gotta do is make sure I can count correctly. So starting at the dot, I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And since I went up, that's a +6. And that's my rise, so that's my numerator. And then I'm going from here to that other dot, so I went to the left 1, a 2, a 3. And since I went to the left, that would be a -3. We need to leave slope in as an improper fraction, but we also need to simplify it, and this would simplify to just 2 over -1. Now, if we went the other way, I just went down 6 and then went over 3. So it'd be just, -2 over +1. And that's fine. It doesn't matter which one as long as I have it in there. So that's very, very important to make sure we have that knowledge. We also must have the knowledge in case I don't give you a graph, but I want you to use the slope formula. And this is where we had to do our y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 jazz. So if I gave you a couple of ordered pairs like, 7, -2, and then 4, -2, I could be able to figure out the slope of this information using our slope formula. So as a reminder, what we always did was we created that fraction bar, and then we just had two subtraction signs. And then we got to put the numbers into the correct spot based on this information within our formula. So -2 is our y2, so I put that guy there. The other -2 is my y1, so I'll put it here. Then I got 4, and then I got my 7. So if I calculate here, -2 minus -2, unfortunately that's 0, and then 4 minus 7 is -3, so 0, -3. So this information has a rise of 0 and a run of -3, so I'm just going over 3 times to the left and not going up. So this would be a horizontal line on a graph. All right, and that's pretty much most everything that we kind of talked about with slope. We then moved into section 3.3, which dealt with direct variation. With direct variation, this is where we kind of had to create a slope based on information given, and then plug it into our y equals mx formula, and then find something that we're missing. All right, so let's say I created this new product. It's called Apple Gushers. All right, it's just essentially like Gushers from the grocery store, but it's an apple, and it's got the, it's like applesauce in there. So, it tastes fantastic once you chew on it. So let me tell you what. So let's say at the store you can get 5 Apple Gushers for $12.50. You like them so much, you are buying 112 of them. How much will this cost? All right, so this information, I can utilize this top part here to create my slope. So my slope here would be m equals y over x. My y is my money, so let's go with $12.50, and my x is 5. Now, normally I say, hey, let's not have a decimal within our fraction, but or our slope, but it's dealing with money, so it's no big deal. And if I simplify this is going to be $2.50 over 1. So I know that one of them is going to cost me $2.50. So then I'm going to put this information into our y equals mx formula, and when I do that, I have y equals 2.50x. I'm going to buy 112 of them. So I'm going to plug in this 112 for x. So it becomes y equals $2.50 times 112. That's how much you like them. So I'm going to multiply that, and I can figure out my total cost is going to be $280. And you can't put a price tag on something as delicious as apple gushers. Just rotted out apples covered in apple skin. Woo, baby. Getting hungry just thinking about it. From there, we started graphing lines using slope-intercept form. This is our, don't forget, our y equals mx plus b. All right, so if I were to give you some sort of equation, like, I don't know, y equals -1/2 x plus 4, and I wanted to graph this information, well, I'd want to find the y-intercept first, which I have right here as 0, 4. So I'm going to put that dot on my graph, over 0, up 4, wha-bam. And then I got my slope, which is -1/2, and I always put the negative sign with the numerator. And the -1 tells me to go down, and the 2 tells me to go to the right. So I'm going to go down from here, 1, 2 to the right. Down 1, 2 to the right. I got my 3 points. I'm going to draw my line as straight as I can through as much as I can of the graph, and I've graphed a line. And that's pretty much what we tried to do there within section 3.4. Section 3.5, we dealt with intercepts, x and y intercepts, graphing that way. Sometimes it was given to me in slope-intercept form. Sometimes it was given to me in what we end up learning as standard form. But for the most part, if I give you some sort of equation like 4x minus 2y equals 10, to find my x-intercept, I plug in 0 for y and solve.
Stanford students, excuse the interruption. We do have one late submitted announcement that's important for this afternoon. Student council meeting is tomorrow morning at 7:30 in the LRC. Again, we have a student council meeting tomorrow in the LRC at 7:30 a.m. Hope to see our student council members there. That is all. Have a good afternoon, Bulldogs.
Sorry about that, I don't control the announcements. So if I want to find the x-intercept, I plug in 0 for y, and I solve the equation. To find the y-intercept, I plug in 0 for x, and I solve the equation. And then I'm left with ordered pairs at the end. So this would be, I don't know, whatever 10 divided by 4 is, I guess it's 2.5, so that'd be like 2.50. And this one over here, -2 divided by, 10 divided by -2, this would be 0, 5. Sorry, 0, -5. And I'd graph those and draw a line between those 2 points. In section 3.6, we worked on point slope to standard form, all with slope-intercept form in between, in the middle. Don't forget, point slope form is that y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, plugging in our information correctly there. Standard form, this is where we had ax plus by equals c, where a has to be greater than 1, can't be a negative, and none of these can be a fraction or decimal. All right, so that's pretty much what we've seen. That's all we're going to really kind of look at on our test. So good luck with the review. Let me know if you have any questions. Shoot me an email.